How's it going, ladies and gents? It's Kill Mombasa here, and today we're gonna see Transformers: The Last Knight. Now, I've only seen a little bit of this movie on YouTube, and I know some little baby spoilers, but it's right over here. I'm gonna go watch the movie, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I think of it. Yep, I just came home from watching Transformers: The Last Knight. I was a tad bit disappointed. Mostly confused. I was a tad disappointed and confused. I know you're probably just like, oh, of course you'd be disappointed. It's a Michael Bay movie. Okay, yeah, I understand. There's a lot of things in this trailer that he exaggerated, Michael Bay, and the movie was completely different. Of course, I'm not really surprised by this. First, I want to address the confusing things. In the beginning, it cuts right to the battle in the Dark Ages, Middle Ages, Dark Ages, and there's these, like, fireballs flying off these catapults, and the English are getting their butts kicked. I don't know who's fighting who, but I'm gonna call them the English, or the good guys. So the good guys are getting their butts whooped by fireballs, and then King Arthur's like, we gotta keep fighting them, bro, ho-ho! Anyway, Merlin goes to the Knights, which are like these giant Autobots. I'm gonna say they're Autobots because at the end of the movie, they help the Autobots fight against the Decepticons and the Infernicons. Here's when the confusion starts. So, obviously, Cade runs away. And when he's running away, the Dinobots come to stop some of the vehicles from getting them, right? Grimlock and Slug. Grimlock and Slug stop them. And you never see them in the movie ever again. Even though they were not killed at all, they were not hurt at all, you never see the Dinobots in the movie ever again. Even though Grimlock was shown in the trailers a billion times, he only has two important scenes. One where he spits out the stupid car, and then the other one where he destroys the car. He even did, I think he even had more screen time than Age of Extinction, and at least he did something in Age of Extinction. And Slug, oh my god, Slug, you see him for a second, he just destroys a car. You don't even see Swoop, and you don't even see Swoop. Where the heck is Swoop? So the Dinobots never show up again. So, then, they meet Cogman. For some reason, somehow, Cogman just decided to fly over there, and like a creepy as Cogman's hiding in the elevator is like, hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm like, what the, why are you hiding in the elevator? Then, Cade, I mean, you know, he gets in a fight with Cade because Cogman is a freaking sociopath. If you watch this movie, you'll realize how crazy Cogman is. So anyway, Cogman fights him, and, you know, the drones that the guys send go after him and all that crap. You know, I'm going too into detail. So, that's the beginning of the movie so far. Then eventually they go to Britain, blah, 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 blah. But here's the confusing thing. Let me get to the point. So, in the first movie, we know that the Allspark created the Transformers. There was war, and then the Allspark flew away. Megatron went after it. Megatron flew to the planet in which it landed, I guess. And then Megatron fell in ice. So, a million years later, the Autobots and Decepticons come to get the Allspark. I don't know why the heck they waited a million years. Maybe they searched the galaxy like Optimus said in the beginning of the movie, but they find it. And, okay, we know the Allspark created the Transformers, and that's the first time they ever came to Earth. Except it wasn't. Revenge of the Fallen showed that there were Primes who were on Earth creating a sun harvester in order to get Energon, and some of the Primes do not like that because it would have to require the humans to die. So, the Fallen's like, See, I can't even explain it because of how freaking confusing it is. If the Fallen is the first Decepticon, and Decepticons want to destroy life, then why did they build the Star Harvester? I don't know. Okay, so obviously they've been to Earth much before, especially with Jetfire. Jetfire's been, you know, he's an SR-71. He was obviously around 1970s or earlier, and we found out that Cybertronians can grow old, even though Starscream and Optimus are like millions of years old, just Jetfire. He must be trillions of years old, because, I mean, how the heck does a Cybertronian age? Whatever. Okay, third movie. They landed on the moon, and they have portals in which they can teleport crap. And, they changed how Cybertron looked. In the first movie, Cybertron looked like a weird mountain range with towers going up. For some reason, in the third movie, it looks like a bunch of empty hexagon panels and metal sheets and all that crap. And then, Age of Extinction, we find out that they were created by the creators, and they had to destroy Earth during dinosaur times to create the Transformers. So, didn't the Allspark create the Transformers in the first movie? Okay. Maybe the Allspark gave the Transformers life, and the Quintessons made the materials, but the Quintessons created the Transformers. I don't know, and it's not like it's the Quintessons. Is it the Quintessons or Quintessa from The Last Knight? Did Quintessa make them all, or did those little Quintessons from Age of Extinction make them all? I don't know. Like, it only shows Quintessa. It doesn't show the rest of the Quintessons from the Age of Extinction. Oh, what the hell. And then we find out in The Last Knight they have been around forever. And the most confusing one is the relationship between Bumblebee and Hot Rod. So, in the first movie, Bumblebee comes down to Earth, takes the form of a Camaro, and then he waits for Sam. And then he's like, okay, whatever. So, turns out Bumblebee has been around for a long time. He even fought in World War II alongside Hot Rod. Okay, it's a little confusing, but until you start analyzing it, in the first movie, which I believe the first movie takes place in the early 2000s, Bumblebee flies from space on the Earth, right? And Bumblebee was on Earth during World War II. So you mean to tell me, after the war, after he killed the Nazis, Bumblebee decided to fly all the way to space, and then all of a sudden look for the Allspark? What the hell? So all of a sudden, just to look for the Allspark, and he comes back. Okay, why would he have to go into space? Why couldn't he stay and tell the Autobots, hey guys, we're looking for this, we're looking for the Allspark, and how convenient, I'm here. And Optimus is like, yeah, did you know that Ironhide was here since freaking, during the French Revolution? What? No way! Unfortunately, he decided to also go to space and then land back here for the Allspark. Damn it, Michael Bay! So, Ironhide. Yeah, Ironhide has been around since forever. And then he decides to fly into space and come back. What the heck, Michael Bay? So, and then, that's not even the worst part. So, freaking Hot Rod and Bumblebee. So, Hot Rod and Bumblebee have seemed to know each other for forever. Okay, if that is so, why was Hot Rod in the 4 movies prior? Especially in the first one. In the first one, Bumblebee gets his legs shot off by Starscream. Does Hot Rod come to rescue? No. Second movie, Bumblebee tears everyone to shreds. Third movie, Bumblebee is getting threatened by Soundwave to get shot in the back of the head. Where was Hot Rod during the Battle of Chicago? The Battle of Chicago, everything was destroyed. Alright? And Hot Rod didn't do nothing. Neither did Drifter Hound. Drifter Hound did nothing about it. You know, they just watch and go, oh, look, my brother in arms is dying. Bumblebee's dying. I'll just wait until a bunch of years later until they get this Last Knight talisman crap. So, anyway, Hot Rod finally shows up. Oh my god, that's not even the most confusing. So, Megatron, he looks completely different. Why? Why does Megatron have a new body? And why is his name Megatron again? Why isn't his name Galvatron like it was in Age of Extinction? And in Age of Extinction, he didn't transform like he does in the new movie. In Age of Extinction, he transforms in these little cubes and then turns into a truck. Now he's an airplane. A Cybertronian airplane. But where did he scan it? Transformers, don't they have to scan vehicles? And then transform into those? And then also, the Decepticons. Were they man-made like Megatron was? Megatron was created by humans and somehow got his new stupid Cybertronian body. But the confusing ones is the Decepticons. Nitro Zeus, Mohawk, Berserk, Dreadbot, Onslaught. You know? Were they created by people? Because they were imprisoned by them. Especially Berserker, who was like, in handcuffs. They didn't even let him out. So, how about those guys? Speaking of the Decepticons, they were also a little bit of a disappointment. Not too much. I loved Nitro Zeus. But, unfortunately, like all the Decepticons, he had to die the stupidest death ever. And he barely did anything. I loved Nitro Zeus. He actually had a personality. The other Decepticons from most of the movies were like, yeah, they spoke Cybertronian all the time, and they always shot at people like, but Nitro Zeus actually talked, you know. He actually was pretty funny. He actually made me laugh. He was like, say hi to your wife for me. And he had like a gold necklace for some reason. But I loved how he looked. He had Shockwave's head and he could fly. And then there was Mohawk, who was tiny. And he turned into a motorcycle. But what pisses me off is, just like in Dark of the Moon, just like in Revenge of the Fallen, the Decepticons die in the most retarded ways possible. Okay, let's get started. First one to die, Onslaught. I got so pissed when I saw this. Onslaught. You know, we've waited forever for a Decepticon of personality. Onslaught has a personality, you know? He talks a little bit, you know, that he has feelings and crap. He just gets his leg and head cut off in 2 seconds. It's like, I've got the leg, and they cut his head off. And I'm going, bruh. You realize that Onslaught is such an awesome character in Fall of Cybertron, and then they get him in The Last Night, and then they just kill him. Okay. Mohawk. He gets killed by one shot by Bumblebee. Another awesome Decepticon with personality. The rest of them just retreat. At least Barricade didn't die. Of course, Barricade didn't die. Of course they would want to save him because he was from the first movie, but they kill off Nitro Zeus. Why would they kill off Nitro Zeus? I don't know. Nitro Zeus, I think, was actually slightly more interesting than Barricade. Even though I've been looking forward for Barricade to show up, like I thought, Barricade did nothing. I thought he was going to fight Bumblebee. I thought there was going to be some epic brawl, 10 years later. Nope. What did they do? Nothing. Bumblebee shoots Barricade one time, and then Barricade transforms and hit a wall and goes, ah, that hurt. That was it. That was the only confrontation between the two. And the first movie, even though the fight was short, they at least fought. But in the Last Night, just shoot Barricade one time. So disappointing. And then Nitro Zeus. All Nitro Zeus did was shoot at a couple soldiers. And then, at the end of the fight, he gets his head shot off by Bumblebee. Of course, one shot by Bumblebee. The most dangerous thing in the world. And then the Dinobots did nothing in the final fight, even though the Autobots had Lockdown Ship. They actually took Lockdown Ship. They could have taken the Dinobots with them. Nope, they didn't. So overall, this movie, I think it was a disappointment. Like before, I thought the Decepticons were actually going to be respected in the movie, but they didn't do anything. The only threat was Quintessa and the humans. Why are the humans a threat? Why aren't the Decepticons a real threat? and I think the movie was mediocre. The action was also very confusing. I had no idea what was going on at the final fight. I think one of the cool shots was when Optimus fought the Infernicons, but I wish this movie was better. Good thing it's Michael Bay's last movie. Those were my original or initial thoughts about the movie. In reality, I actually kind of liked the movie. I loved how it started off. I really liked Cogman. I also really liked the really huge Autobot roster. It was a shame that the Dinobots didn't really get much screen time, but there was a lot of Transformers in this film. There was plenty of them. Some of them didn't really do anything, like Top Spin was in Cuba, and there was a couple old robots at the frickin' Anthony Hopkins character, I forgot his name's castle. They don't really do anything. One of them tries to shoot at Bumblebee. I don't know, maybe he's just crazy like that. I really like the Decepticons in this movie. The Decepticons have a personality once again. In fact, it's not just limited to 2 Decepticons. Before, the only Decepticons who really had a personality were Starscream, Megatron, and if you count this one, Sentinel Prime. Sentinel Prime was an Autobot, but I consider him a Decepticon because he betrayed the Autobots. So yeah, we had Starscream, Megatron, and Sentinel Prime, and even Megatron, he was like your typical take over the world character. You know, we've seen that a lot of times. I'm not saying Megatron's a bad character, I'm just saying I'm glad that they have added more personality to the new Decepticons. Nitro Zeus. Nitro Zeus is just this, like, Nitro Zeus is like this enthusiastic Decepticon, and he, you know, he's looking forward to bashing in some Autobots' heads, and he's like, free at last! Yes, free at last! He's really funny. Mohawk has a personality, but it's really annoying. He's like, yo, my name's Mohawk, come on, but ho! Alright. Onslaught has some personality. He's not, like, as blank as Shockwave from Transformers Dark of the Moon, who only showed pure rage and anger. But Onslaught, we didn't see much of him because he got his freaking head cut off later in the film. But Onslaught seemed pretty cool. Based on what I saw, he only had one line. He seemed kind of cocky because he charged into the Autobots with no regard, and then he got his ass whooped. Once the other Decepticon. Berserker, we barely saw him do anything. Barricade is like a scout. He goes out and does shit, and then tells Megatron stuff. I love Barricade in this new movie. He has a lot more lines in this one than the first film. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't talk much, but he talks more than he did in the first film. In the first film, he's like, where are all the glasses? In this one, he's a little bit calmer. He's like, I have found the talisman, but it was given by a knight to a human. So, yeah, I actually like his new voice more. So they sound more human, unfortunately. All of them die, except for Barricade, Megatron, maybe Berserker, and Dreadbot? I believe they didn't die. And, yeah. That's all speculation.